chase I need, no chase I need, no chase I need, no chase.
Sarah Rector, who became the richest black girl in America. Sarah Rector was born March 3rd, 1902. She was born in either Taft, Oklahoma. Some reports say Muscogee, Oklahoma. I mean, they're only about 10 minutes apart. But this was known as Indian territory, aka us. Sarah became rich when black gold was discovered on her allotment of tribal land in Oklahoma in 1913. She was just 11 years old. Her father had leased her allotment to the Dovinian Oil Company of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, primarily to generate enough revenue to pay the $30 annual tax bill. However, her fortunes changed when wildcat oil driller B.B. Jones produced a gusher that brought in 2,500 barrels a day. And by the time she turned 18, Sarah's net worth was estimated to be over $1 million. Her father, Joseph Rector, and mother, Rose McQueen. Her grandparents were enslaved by Muscogee Creek Indians. And after the Civil War, they got their freedom by the U.S. government. You see, and now they were citizens by the tribe who enslaved them. On February 8th, 1887, the government introduced the Dawes Allotment Act. Now this right here is how she ended up getting her paper. And they had to divide up all that land. And so this means that Sarah was entitled to 160 acres of land. But see, check this out. They tried to throw a curveball at him. See, what they did, they gave people like Sarah, her siblings, and other people who were granted that land, all the bogus land. See, they gave all the black people the effed up land. The land that you couldn't really do any farming on. It was rocky, bad soil. And they gave white settlers all the good land, the land that you can actually produce on. But it was something big that they were not expecting. Sarah's father was having issues with paying taxes on the land. See, he ain't had no money. And then he went to the Muscogee courts to try to sell the land, and they wouldn't allow it. But what her father didn't know, and what nobody knew, that there was oil up under there. And lots of it. He ended up connecting with the oil company, and they started drilling. Next thing we know, tens of thousands of barrels of oil were produced per day. Crazy. There's a book that I would highly recommend. It's called Black Fortunes. This is about the first 6 black people who escaped slavery and became millionaires. Society likes to hide many of our wealthy ancestors. People like Robert Reed Church. People like the young lady Sarah Rector. People like Mary Ellen Pleasant, who funded John Brown's crusade.
I had no formal education. Men and women were my study. When I moved to San Francisco, I worked as a chef for wealthy white families. I listened in on their conversations and learned how to invest my $500 a month salary. I invested in real estate, restaurants, many other businesses, including an upstart bank called Wells Fargo. I was able to earn so much, to accomplish so much because, well, they thought I was white. So my husband and I took full advantage of that because unbeknownst to them, we secretly financed and brought the Underground Railroad to California, finding homes and employment for our newly freed brethren. Eventually, I was called the mother of civil rights in California. In San Francisco, I built a 30-room mansion where I held meetings for blacks and white men and women who were shakers and movers in the civil rights movement. In fact, they labeled my house the Black City Hall. I spent most of my life working for justice for my brothers and sisters. Let me leave you with this. I was born in 1817. In my heyday, my net worth was well over $20 million. Madam C.J. Walker, the first black female millionaire? Oh, I don't think so. Look me up. My name is Mary Ellen Pleasant. I am Black history. I'm American history. I'm world history.
So all the black folks got paid. Everybody who owned that land and land like that was distributed got paid, crazy paid. And all of their children got paid. Because see, many of the children had their name on the land. But, as always, white supremacy throws a curveball. So they appointed some white folks to be the guardians so they can control the money. Due to black folks being uneducated, they had a head start on them. They knew all the loopholes. So people like Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois all stepped in to get this overturned. And Sarah ended up finally getting the education. She actually ended up going to Tuskegee. On March 3rd, 1920, Sarah left Tuskegee and with her entire family, moved to Kansas City. By this time, she owned stocks and bonds, a boarding house, a bakery, some cafes, and well over 2,000 acres. And she was well into millionaire status. Sarah very much enjoyed her wealth later on in her life. And she was constantly spotted with celebrities like Duke Ellington. Sarah Rector was at one point the richest girl in the world. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. And let me know what you think in the comment section. Please follow the History with No Chaser Facebook and Instagram pages.